For many of us, there is a deep-rooted belief that we need the approval of others to take action, to move forward, and to follow our dreams. This belief is so ingrained in our minds that it often feels like the natural course of life. We find ourselves waiting for the right moment, the right people, or the right situation before we take the leap. But here's the reality: you don't need anyone's permission to go after what you want in life. You don't need someone else's approval to start the journey that's meant for you. Your dreams, your desires are yours and yours and yours alone, and they do not require anyone's approval to begin. We are conditioned from a very young age to seek permission. It starts with the small things: asking for permission to go outside, permission to stay up late, permission to speak up. But over time, this conditioning becomes more profound, and we carry it into adulthood. And we find ourselves constantly seeking validation from external sources, whether it's from our families, our friends, our colleagues, or society as a whole. We've been taught that we need someone else's stamp of approval to act or make a decision, and this mindset can paralyze us from taking meaningful steps toward our future. The truth is, waiting for permission is one of the greatest barriers to success. It creates a mental prison where your potential is limited by other people's perceptions, expectations, and judgments. You tell yourself, "I'll start when I get approval," or "I'll take action once someone else tells me I'm ready," but in doing so, you give away your power. You put your dreams in someone else's hands and place your life's direction under their control. That's not how success works. Success is born from taking action on your own terms. That's no waiting for someone to give you the green light. Think about the people who've made significant impacts in the world. Do you think they were waiting for permission? Do you think they sat idly by, waiting for someone to tell them, "Now's the time"? No, they took action because they knew that they alone held the key to their success. They understood that the road to achievement would be uncertain, full of obstacles, and often uncomfortable, but they moved forward anyway. They didn't ask for permission to chase their dreams because they recognized that the only permission they needed was the one they permissioned. This isn't to say that external feedback doesn't have its place. Seeking advice, gathering knowledge, and hearing different perspectives can be valuable in refining our approach. But there's a distinct difference between seeking guidance and waiting for permission. You can listen to the voices of others, but ultimately you are the one who must decide what's best for you and take the necessary steps to move toward it. By waiting for permission also creates a false sense of security. The idea that there is a perfect time to act is a myth. We're often told that we should wait until everything is aligned, until we have all the resources, the perfect opportunity, the ideal circumstances. But the truth is, life will never be perfectly aligned for you to take the next step. The world doesn't wait for you to feel fully prepared or for the stars to align. If you wait for the perfect moment, you might be waiting forever. Life is dynamic and it constantly changes. The world won't pause for you to catch up. The longer you wait, the more time you lose. The perfect opportunity may never come, but that doesn't mean you can't create your own. Taking action, even if it's not perfectly planned or timed, puts you ahead of those who are still waiting for permission. You don't need someone else to tell you that now is the time. You need to recognize that the only time you have is right now. And moreover, waiting for permission is a form of self-doubt. It reflects an internal belief that you are not capable or worthy of achieving what you want unless someone else validates you first. This kind of thinking diminishes your sense of self-worth and your belief in your own abilities. The real power lies in knowing that you are enough just as you are. You don't need someone to tell you that you can achieve your goals because deep down you already know that you can. But you must trust yourself enough to take the first step, even if it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. When you stop waiting for permission and start taking action, you reinforce your belief in your own potential. It's also important to recognize that the people you are waiting for permission from are often not living the life that you want to live. Many of the voices that we seek validation from are filled with their own doubts, fears, and intuition. They may mean well, but they don't have the vision that you have. They may not understand your dreams, and they may not see the value in what you want to create. They might offer their opinions, but that doesn't mean their opinions should dictate your choices. If you rely on others for permission, you risk allowing their limitations to become your own. In reality, the only person who truly knows what's best for you is you. You are the one who has the vision, the dreams, and the desires. You are the one who has the unique insight into your own life and the power to make things happen. The moment you stop waiting for permission, is the moment you take back control of your destiny. You are no longer a passive observer of your life, but an active participant, creating and shaping your future with every decision you make. So I want you to ask yourself what would happen if you stopped waiting. What would your life look like if you took action without waiting for someone else to tell you it was okay? Imagine the progress you could make, the opportunities you could create, and the results you could achieve if you started acting on your dreams today. It's time to recognize that your permission slip has already been signed by you. You don't need anyone else's approval. You have everything you need within you to succeed. So stop waiting for permission. The only person you need to get approval from is yourself. And you are more than capable of taking that first step. Taking responsibility for your own life is one of the most liberating and powerful realizations you can have. It's the acknowledgement that your life is your own to shape, regardless of the circumstances you were born into, the challenges you faced, or the opinions of others. Yet so many of us hesitate to take full ownership of our lives. That's why, because it's easier to place blame, to point fingers, and to believe that someone or something else is responsible for where we are. But the truth is, every moment you spend deflecting responsibility is a moment you give away your power. If you truly want to create a life that fulfills you, you must take responsibility for every aspect of it. When you take responsibility for your own life, you shift from being a passive participant to being the driver of your destiny. It's easy to feel like life is happening to you as if you're at the mercy of outside forces. We often hear people say, if only I had better opportunities, or if only I had more support, or if only things were different, but these are just excuses that keep you stuck in the same place. The moment you realize that your actions, choices, and mindset determine your future, you begin to reclaim your power. The external world may influence you, but it doesn't control you. The way you respond to it does. Taking responsibility also means understanding that no one else is going to do the work for you. No one is coming to save you, to push you, or to hand you the life you dream of on a silver platter. The people around you may support you, they may encourage you, but ultimately the hard work, the discipline, and the commitment are yours to bear. When you understand this, you stop waiting for external solutions and start looking within. You stop wasting energy on things you can't control and focus on the one thing you can yourself. This shift in perspective is not always easy. It requires courage to look at your life and admit where you've fallen short. It requires humility to accept that you made poor choices that you made mistakes or poor choices that contributed to where you are now. But taking responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up or dwelling on the past. It means learning from your experiences and using them to propel yourself forward. Your past does not define you unless you allow it to. Every mistake is a lesson, every setback an opportunity to grow. One of the most empowering aspects of taking responsibility is realizing that you have the ability to change your story at any time. You are not a victim of your circumstances unless you choose to see yourself that way. Life will throw challenges your way, that's inevitable. But you get to decide whether those challenges break you or build you. You get to decide whether you use them as excuses to stay where you are or as fuel to move forward. When you take responsibility, you stop blaming the world for your problems and start finding solutions. This doesn't mean ignoring the reality of your situation or pretending that challenges don't exist. Life can be unfair, and there will always be factors that submitting or control. But taking responsibility is about focusing on what you can control. You may not be able to change the cards you've been dealt, but you can decide how you play them. You can decide how you show up every day, how you respond to adversity, and how much effort you're willing to put in to create the life you want. Taking responsibility also means being honest with yourself. It's about recognizing where you've been holding yourself back and where you've been relying on excuses. Maybe you've been procrastinating because you're afraid of failure. Maybe you've been blaming others because it's easier than admitting you need to make a change. Whatever it is, being honest with yourself is the first step toward taking responsibility. It's not about judgment or shame, it's about clarity. When you're honest with yourself, you can start to see where you need to grow and what actions you need to take. It's important to understand that taking responsibility is not the same as taking blame. Blame is about assigning fault, while responsibility is about ownership. Blame focuses on the past, while responsibility focuses on the future. When you take responsibility, You're not saying that everything is your fault. You're saying that you have the power to shape what happens next. This distinction is crucial because it shifts your mindset from one of helplessness to one of empowerment. When you take responsibility for your life, you also free yourself from the control of others. As long as you're blaming someone else for your situation, you're giving them power over you. You're allowing their actions, opinions, or circumstances to dictate your happiness and success. But when you take responsibility, you take back that power. You stop allowing others to control your narrative and start writing your own story. Another powerful aspect of taking responsibility is that it leads to a sense of freedom. When you stop waiting for others to change, you realize that you have the ability to change yourself. You stop waiting for the world to give you what you want and start creating it for yourself. This freedom comes from knowing that you are in control of your own life, that you have the ability to make choices that align with your goals and values. Taking responsibility also builds confidence. Every time you take ownership of your actions and decisions, you strengthen your belief in your own abilities. You prove to yourself that you are capable of handling challenges and creating positive change. This confidence becomes a self-reinforcing cycle of responsibility you take. The more confident you become, the more responsibility you're willing to take. It's worth noting that taking responsibility doesn't mean doing it all alone. It's okay to seek help, to ask for support, and to rely on others when needed. But even in those moments, you're still taking responsibility for your own life. You're recognizing that seeking help is a proactive choice that contributes to your growth and success. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about being willing to do whatever it takes to move forward. The journey of taking responsibility is ongoing. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a mindset and a way of life. Every day you have the opportunity to take ownership of your choices, to learn from your experiences, and to move closer to the life you want. It's not always easy, and there will be days when it feels overwhelming. But the rewards of taking responsibility far outweigh the challenges. When you take responsibility for your life, you take control of your destiny. You become the author of your story, the creator of your future, and the master of your fate. Action over perfection is a principle that can transform your life. Too often we are paralyzed by the idea that everything must be perfect before we take the first step. We convince ourselves that we need more preparation, more resources, or more time before we can begin. But in reality, perfection is an illusion. It's a moving target that keeps shifting as we grow and evolve. The truth is, waiting for perfection is a trap that keeps you stuck, while taking action, even imperfectly, is what drives in progress and success. The belief in perfection can feel comforting. It gives us an excuse to delay action under the guise of preparation. We tell ourselves that we're waiting for the perfect moment to launch a project, the perfect conditions to start a new habit, or the perfect skills to pursue our dreams. But the pursuit of perfection often masks a deeper fear, the fear of failure. We think that if we wait until everything is perfect, we can avoid mistakes, criticism, or rejection. But in trying to protect ourselves from failure, we end up failing to move forward at all. Taking action, even when things aren't perfect, is a courageous choice. It's a decision to prioritize progress over perfection. When you take action, you create momentum, and momentum is one of the most powerful forces in achieving success. Every step you take, no matter how small or imperfect, moves you closer to your goals. Each action provides an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to improve. The lessons you gain from taking imperfect action are far more valuable than the illusion of perfection you might achieve by waiting indefinitely. One of the most important realizations is that perfection is not a prerequisite for success. Look at any successful individual or project, and you'll find that the journey was filled with mistakes, setbacks, and imperfections. The difference is that successful people don't let those imperfections stop them. They understand that progress is a process of trial and error. They are willing to take risks, make mistakes, and learn along the way. They know that the only way to truly refine their craft or achieve their vision is by doing, not by waiting. When you focus on action over perfection, you also free yourself from the burden of unrealistic expectations. Perfectionism can be exhausting and demoralizing. It creates a constant pressure for flawlessly, which can lead to procrastination, anxiety, and self-doubt. By shifting your focus to taking consistent action, you allow yourself to make mistakes, learn and improve without the weight of perfectionism holding you back. You start to see mistakes not as failures, but as opportunities to grow and refine your approach. Taking action also helps you build confidence. Confidence is not something you wait to feel before you act, it's something you build by acting. Each time you take a step forward, even if it's imperfect, you prove to yourself that you are capable of making progress. Over time, this builds a sense of self-efficacy, the belief that you can handle challenges and achieve your goals. Confidence comes from trying and from learning, not from waiting for the perfect conditions. It's important to recognize that taking action doesn't mean reckless or unprepared. It's not about jumping into something blindly without any thought or planning. It's about finding a balance between preparation and execution. Preparation is important, but it should never become an excuse for inaction. At some point, you have to trust yourself enough to take the leap, knowing that you can adjust and adapt as you go. The beauty of taking imperfect action is that it allows you to start where you are, with what you have. You don't need to have all the answers or all the resources to begin. What you need is the willingness to take that first step, no matter how small it may seem. That step creates a ripple effect, opening doors to new opportunities and possibilities that you couldn't have anticipated if you had stayed stuck in inaction. When you take action, you also gain clarity. Many of us get stuck in analysis paralysis, trying to figure out the perfect plan before we begin. But the truth is, clarity often comes through action, not before it. By taking steps towards your goal, you gain insights and perspectives that you couldn't have imagined from a place of inaction. You start to see what works and what doesn't, what you enjoy and what you don't, and where you need to make adjustments. This clarity helps you refine your path and move forward with greater purpose and confidence. Taking action also sets you apart. Most people spend their lives waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, or the right circumstances. But the people who achieve extraordinary things are the ones who take action, regardless of the conditions. They understand that the perfect time is an illusion, and that the best time to start is always now. By taking action, you place yourself ahead of those who are still waiting for perfection. There's also a compounding effect to action. Each step you take builds on the one before it, creating momentum and accelerating your progress. Small actions you take today may not seem significant, but over time they add up to big results. This is why consistency is so powerful. It's not about making one perfect move, it's about taking imperfect steps every day that move you closer to your goal. Action also inspires others. When you take bold steps towards your dreams, you show others what's possible. Your willingness to act, even in the face of uncertainty or imperfection, encourages others to do the same. You become a source of inspiration, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to try, to learn, and to grow. Your actions create a ripple effect, motivating those around you to take action in their own lives. Another powerful aspect of action is that it helps you overcome fear. Fear thrives in inaction. When you stay stuck, fear grows, convincing you of all the reasons why you should move forward. But when you take action, you disrupt that cycle. You prove to yourself that fear is not a barrier, but a signal that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. Each action you take reduces the power of fear and strengthens your courage. Taking action also cultivates resilience. The journey toward any meaningful goal is rarely smooth. There will be challenges, setbacks, moments of doubt. But when you take action consistently, you develop the resilience to navigate those challenges. You learn how to adapt, how to recover failure, and how to keep moving forward, even when things don't go as planned. This resilience is a key ingredient in achieving long-term success. Finally, action over perfection is a mindset that helps you stay focused on what truly matters. Perfectionism often distracts us with details that don't move the needle. It keeps us focused on polishing and refining rather than progressing and progressing. But when you prioritize action, you stay focused on the big picture, on the goals and outcomes that matter most. You learn to let go of unnecessary details and focus your energy on what will truly move you forward. About learning through failure is one of the most valuable and transformative processes in life. Yet for many, the fear of failure becomes a barrier that prevents them from taking action, trying new things, or pursuing their dreams. The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is an integral part of the journey toward it. Every failure carries within it lessons, insights, and opportunities for growth that you can't obtain through success alone. When you embrace failure as a teacher, You unlock a mindset that allows you to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient with every challenge you face. The concept of failure is often misunderstood. Society tends to associate failure with weakness or inadequacy, leading many to avoid it at all costs. This fear of failure creates a paralyzing effect, causing people to stay within the boundaries of what feels safe and comfortable. But growth does not occur in comfort zones. Growth happens when you stretch yourself, take risks, and face the possibility of falling short. Each time you step outside of your comfort zone, you open yourself up to the possibility of failure, but you also open yourself up to the possibility of learning and evolving. Failure provides a unique perspective that success cannot. When you fail, you are forced to confront the reality of what went wrong, to analyze your decisions and actions, and to identify areas for improvement. This process of reflection and analysis is where true learning happens. It's not about dwelling on what went wrong, but about extracting the lessons that can inform your future choices. Failure shines a light in your blind spots, exposing areas where you need to grow or develop new skills. It's a mirror that reflects back the truth about where you are and what you need to do to move forward. One of the most important lessons failure teaches is resilience. Life is full of challenges and no one is immune to setbacks. When you fail, you are faced with the choice to give up or to try again. Each time you choose to rise after a failure, you build resilience. You prove to yourself that you are capable of handling adversity, that you can adapt and overcome. This resilience becomes a foundation of strength that you can draw upon in future challenges. When you fail and are unshakable, you're more unshakable you become in the face of obstacles. Failure also teaches humility. It reminds you that no one is perfect, reminds you that none is perfect, and that success is not a straight path. Even the most accomplished individuals have faced countless failures on their way to the top. Humility allows you to approach your goals with a sense of curiosity and openness, recognizing that you don't have all the answers and that there is always more to learn. This humility is what keeps you grounded and willing to seek feedback, to listen, and to grow. Another powerful lesson of failure is adaptability. When things don't go as planned, you are forced to rethink your approach, to adjust your strategy, and to find new ways forward. This adaptability is a crucial skill in a world that is constantly changing. Failure teaches you how to be flexible, how to innovate, and how to think creatively in the face of challenges. It helps you develop a mindset that sees obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to find new solutions. Failure also challenges your relationship with fear. Fear of failure is one of the biggest barriers to taking action, but the experience of failure can help you redefine what failure means to you. When you fail and survive, you really realize that it's not the end of the world. You begin to see failure as a temporary setback, not a permanent state. This shift in perspective reduces the power that fear holds over you, making it easier to take risks and pursue your goals without being paralyzed by the fear of falling short. One of the most surprising gifts of failure is the clarity it provides. When you fail, you gain a deeper understanding of what truly matters to you. Sometimes failure can reveal that the goal you were pursuing wasn't aligned with your values or passions. Other times it can reaffirm your commitment to a goal, showing you just how much you were willing to fight for it. Failure also fosters empathy and connection. When you've experienced failure, you are better able to relate to others who are facing their own challenges as you understand what it feels like to struggle, to doubt yourself, and to persevere despite setbacks. This empathy allows you to build deeper connections with others and to offer support and encouragement to those who need it. Failure reminds you that you are not alone in your struggles and that everyone is on their own journey of growth and discovery. One of the most empowering aspects of failure is the realization that it does not define you. Your worth is not determined by your successes or failures, but by the effort, courage, and persistence you bring to your journey. When you embrace failure as a part of your process, you free yourself from the need for external validation. You stop measuring your value by outcomes and start focusing on the progress you are making, the lessons you are learning, and the person you are becoming. Failure also has a way of revealing your inner strength. When you face failure, you are forced to confront your doubts, fears, and limitations. But in doing so, you also discover your capacity to persevere, to adapt, and to rise above challenges. Failure pushes you to dig deeper, to tap into resources you didn't know you had, and to grow in ways you never imagined. It shows you that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. Taking the lessons of failure and applying them to your life requires a mindset of growth and curiosity. It's about shifting your focus from what went wrong to what you can learn. This shift is not always easy, especially in the moment when failure can feel overwhelming or discouraging. But with time and reflection, you begin to see that every failure is a stepping stone on the path to success. It's not about avoiding failure, but about embracing it as a natural and necessary part of the journey. Failure also builds character. It tests your resolve, your commitment, and your willingness to keep going despite the odds. It teaches you patience, perseverance, and the value of hard work. Each time you overcome a failure, you strengthen your character and deepen your understanding of what it takes to succeed. This character is what sets you apart, giving you the inner fortitude to face future challenges with courage and determination. The journey of learning through failure is ongoing. It's not something you do once and then move past. Life will continue to present new challenges and opportunities for growth, and each failure you encounter will bring new lessons and insights. The key is to approach failure with a mindset of curiosity and resilience, seeing it not as an endpoint but as a beginning. When you embrace failure as a teacher, you unlock a wellspring of growth, creativity, and potential that propels you toward the life you are meant to live. Taking responsibility for your life is one of the most liberating and transformative decisions you can make. It means acknowledging that you are the architect of your own experience, that your choices, actions, and attitudes shape the reality you live in. While it can be tempting to blame external circumstances, other people, or even luck for the outcomes in your life, true empowerment comes from recognizing that you have the power to influence your own path. Responsibility is not about accepting blame or fault, it's about reclaiming your power to create change, to grow, and to move forward with intention and purpose. When you take responsibility for your life, you step out of the role of a victim and into the role of a creator. The victim mindset is one where you feel powerless, where you believe that life happens to you rather than because of you. It's a mindset that keeps you stuck, waiting for someone or something to rescue you or change your circumstances. But the truth is, waiting is not a strategy, and no one is coming to save you. When you shift from a victim mindset to a creator mindset, you begin to see that you are not at the mercy of your circumstances, you have the power to change them. Responsibility starts with self-awareness. It requires you to take an honest look at your life and ask yourself where you are not showing up fully, where you are not taking ownership of your choices, and where you are allowing excuses to hold you back. This level of self-awareness can be uncomfortable because it forces you to confront the areas of your life where you may be falling short, but it is also the first step toward empowerment. When you acknowledge the role you play in creating your reality, you give yourself the power to change it. Taking responsibility also means letting go of blame. Blame is a way of deflecting responsibility, of shifting the focus away from yourself and onto others. While it may feel satisfying in the short term, blame keeps you stuck in the past and prevents you from taking action to create a better future. When you let go of blame, you free yourself to focus on what you can do to move forward. This doesn't mean ignoring the role that others may have played in your challenges, but it does mean recognizing that holding on to blame only holds you back. One of the most challenging aspects of taking responsibility is accepting that you are responsible for your reactions and attitudes, even in situations that are beyond your control. Life will inevitably present you with challenges, setbacks, and circumstances that you didn't choose or impact. But while you may not have control over what happens to you, you always have control over how you respond. Your response is response that determines whether you grow from the experience or allow it to defeat you. Taking responsibility for your reactions means choosing to respond in a way that aligns with your values and goals, even in the face of adversity. Taking responsibility also requires you to take ownership of your goals and dreams. It's not enough to wish for success or hope for change, you have to take action to make it happen. This means setting clear goals, creating a plan, and following through with consistent effort. It means recognizing that no one else is going to achieve your dreams for you, and that waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions is just another way of avoiding responsibility. When you take ownership of your goals, you commit to doing whatever it takes to turn them into reality. Another key aspect of taking responsibility is being accountable to yourself. Accountability is about holding yourself to a standard of integrity, about doing what you say you will do and following through on your commitments. It's about being honest with yourself about your progress, your setbacks, and the areas where you need to improve. Accountability is not about being hard on yourself or striving for perfection. It's about being committed to your growth and taking consistent action toward your goals. When you hold yourself accountable, you build trust in yourself, which is a foundation for confidence and self-belief. Taking responsibility also means embracing the power of choice. Every day, you make countless choices that shape your life, from the thoughts you entertain to the actions you take. When you take responsibility for your choices, you recognize that you are not a passive observer in your own life, you are an active participant. This awareness gives you the power to make choices that align your values and goals, even in the face of temptation or distraction. It's about being intentional with your time, your energy, and your focus, and about making decisions that move you closer to the life you want to create. Taking responsibility can be challenging because it requires you to confront your fears and insecurities. It's easier to stay in your comfort zone, to avoid taking risks, and to settle for what feels safe and familiar. But responsibility calls you to rise above your fears and to take bold action in the direction of your dreams. It's about recognizing that growth and success require courage, and that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. When you take responsibility for your fears, you take back your power to overcome them. Taking responsibility also means being willing to learn and grow. Life is a journey of constant learning, and taking responsibility for your life means embracing this process with an open mind and a willingness to improve. It means seeking out opportunities for growth, whether through education, mentorship, or personal development. It also means being willing to learn from your mistakes and failures, to see them not as setbacks, but as stepping stones on the path to success. When you take responsibility for your growth, you commit to becoming the best version of yourself. One of the most empowering aspects of taking responsibility is the realization that you have the power to create change. When you stop waiting for others to change or for circumstances to move, you begin to see that you have the ability to influence your destiny. This doesn't mean that change is easy or that it happens overnight, but it does mean that you are not powerless. Every action you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to the life you want to create. When you take responsibility for your actions, you become a force of change in your own life and in the life and in the lives of others. Taking responsibility also means being patient and persistent. Change doesn't happen instantly, and the journey toward your goals will inevitably involve challenges and setbacks. But when you take responsibility, you commit to staying the course even when things get tough. You recognize that progress is a process and that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Patience and persistence are the hallmarks of responsibility, and they are what allow you to achieve long-term success. Ultimately, taking responsibility is about empowerment. It's about recognizing that you have the power to create the life you want, regardless of your circumstances or challenges. It's about taking ownership of your choices, your actions, and your attitudes, and about committing to your growth and your goals. When you take responsibility for your life, you unlock your full potential and step into the greatness that you are capable of achieving.